Yeah, Tuesday night, lights low, sparks fly. War report after dark, better fall in line. From WWE to TNA, AU to Spark. Vince the Prince from the Northeast set it off in the dark. OG Steve led the charge. Cat Al, Eric us, 9 p.m. Eastern. Acknowledge the ring, acknowledge us.
You're soft, you're sloppy. They calling me Poppy. I'm rolling in bands, you riding around and I beat up jalopy. Hey, don't. Pros wanna copy, but they are just not me. I'm up in the club, stacking them ducks, and stuck in a lobby. I'm hot like sauce. You soft like balsa. You ain't heard of me? Well, you probably are. Ask about nice to meet. So good to see. Bros wanna act hard and eat, then take it easy. Soft.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark. The tease has started. We got a little tease for the return of Big Cass, and I have a feeling next week we're going to get the same thing, but a tease for Enzo, because I don't see them bringing back one without the other. Welcome to another edition of the War Report. Al, how you doing, my brother?
I'm living, brother. I'm living. I'm doing well. A lot of good things are going on in wrestling, exciting. I was highly happy to see that, and I'm with you. First of all, they were going to bring one of them. I think it's definitely Enzo, not Cass. So the fact that they put Cass first just tells me that Enzo's not far behind. We'll be getting a promo soon.
Yeah, I think so. You definitely have to. We need tag teams anyway, and Cass has come a very long way too. Don't sleep on Cass. But
I saw him in AEW. I like what they did with him in AEW, and it's like one of those things, right? You have to sometimes get away to grow, and then come back stronger. So I think it'll be great.
Yeah, no, I agree. Boy, we got a lot to talk about because we have to talk about SmackDown. We got to talk about Raw. We got to talk about Saturday night's main event this Saturday from Madison Square Garden. And then, of course, we got SummerSlam around the corner already. So time is moving, and there's a lot going on. I feel like we should go back to SmackDown before we really jump into Raw, because there are things from SmackDown that blended over to Raw, because the brand split means anything these days.
Right.
But it was an interesting SmackDown. One of the biggest highlights of SmackDown is we got the return of Baron Corbin, and we were kind of talking about it a little bit before we came on. I thought it was a great surprise. I like how right away they're inserting him in that U.S. title with Trick, and it is U.S. title, right?
It was the U.S. Was it the IC or the U? No, it was the U.S. title. It was the U.S. title.
Yeah, U.S. title. So I like how he's inserting him in there. The crowd, I don't know what happened with your volume, but for me on my end, Baron Corbin got a huge reaction. And it's funny because we've been kind of we've been hearing rumors that Baron might be on his way back. We were thinking maybe he's the one under the sheet with Danhausen. Obviously, that's not the route they're going. We still don't know what that body is underneath the sheet.
It's Omos.
I don't know if it's long enough. Omos is a big dude.
Yeah,
What's up, Vince?
Not much, man. What's going on?
Not too much. We're we're talking about SmackDown, and we're talking about one of the biggest highlights I thought of SmackDown was the return of Baron Corbin. And we were talking about how I like how they inserted him right into the Trick Williams and what's his face? Carmelo Hayes.
Steve, I am going to apologize to you in regards to what we were talking before. Yes, I was watching it on my phone, and my phone's volume currently sucks.
Oh,
so that could be the reason why I didn't hear the pop. But yes, if he got that pop, love Baron Corbin coming back, putting him in a high-profile situation. It seems like they want to feature him soon, so hopefully do something good with him.
What were your thoughts, Vince, on Baron Corbin?
Yeah, I mean, with the reports, officially that Big Bill's coming back, Big Cass, and
you missed it, Vince.
The vignette.
No, I opened the show.
Yeah.
With a little Big Cass and Enzo. So we'll play it
Yeah.
at the end too. But
But that coming to Baron Corbin was a guy. Listen, he's no Harley Race, but like there is a spot for him, and always kind of was. It was never his fault.
no,
They always put him into these shitty positions with like he was the general manager of Raw, and then they put all the blame for the bad booking on the fake general manager, and then like he had to cover Roman Reigns in dog food. He had to lose all of his money. He struck gold with the bum ass Corbin thing, but that was supposed to be kind of like a punishment too, and he just spun chicken salad out of chicken shit for that.
that whole run where he was bum Baron Corbin and then he hit the
He'd win,
jackpot,
yeah.
and then he was like, that was the best version of Baron Corbin we ever had. But you can never take away from his in-ring. He was great on the
Right.
mic. It's just how he gets booked. So we'll see how they do it this go around. But I'm very excited to see Baron Corbin back.
And honestly, I would be, he was up until he signed back with WWE. Baron Corbin was MLW Tag Team Champions with Dijak. And
Right.
if you're going to bring in Baron Corbin, bring in Dijak. Have him tag. They can do singles matches. They can tag together. They both kind of wrestle that big guy, hard-hitting style. And Dijak is fucking awesome, and they never should have let him go in the first place.
Agreed.
But, like, I just... if we're bringing guys back that missed a lot of their potential while Vince was booking them, we're talking about
I'm a little
Enzo
lost.
Cass.
Who's Dijak? Which one's Dijak?
Dijak was the one that wrestled Keith Lee. He's like a tall, not quite Russian, but like
Short
Serbian,
blonde hair.
Czechoslovakian looking guy.
They wound up putting him in Retribution, and they put a mask on him, which was so stupid.
He was T-Bar in Retribution, but he wrestled
Yeah.
a bunch of matches against Keith Lee
T-Bar.
on NXT.
Fucking T-Bar. Yes, I remember him.
And Dijak happens to be a great guy. Like,
He's
I-
awesome.
he's just a great dude. But yeah, so I don't know, but it does. It looks like they're going back and bringing back a ton of people. We were talking about with Big Cass and Enzo, we got the vignette basically letting us know that the Raw after SummerSlam is going to be the return of Big Cass. I would imagine on SmackDown we're going to get the same thing, but of Enzo. And I think you're getting the return of both of them. You can't bring one back without the other.
Is Enzo Amore. I can't fucking wait to hear that. I can't wait to
Yeah,
hear
it's
that.
going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm very excited.
I am all for if somebody does something criminal, immoral, illegal, whatever, that they be punished for it. There was an accusation put out against Enzo Amore, and the reaction was to immediately fire him before kind of getting into
Guilty
the
before
reality
proven
of the
innocent.
right, exactly. And from everything that we've seen, with the fact that not that I'm saying you have to file charges for something to be real, but it seems like everybody's now vetted this person and the accusations, and they looked into the evidence, and even after they fired him, WWE looked into it and found he did nothing wrong, but he didn't tell them it was happening. So like he didn't tell them there were these accusations, and they had to find out from secondhand source, and that's why they fired. That was their justification for firing. But it's like
It was
he didn't
stupid.
do anything. Like if he
Yeah.
didn't do anything, he didn't do anything. That's the long and short of it.
Like it's one of those situations you bench him. You bench him,
Right.
and you wait until, the truth comes out. And
They did that to Emma. And this happened at the Walmart that I shop at every other day. Emma
I
was in
remember.
town for a house show. She went to Walmart and she was buying stuff. She left an iPad case underneath all of her shopping and forgot it, and they popped her for shoplifting.
yep.
And then, you just look back at the cameras and you see that obviously it was a mistake, but WWE fired her the day that news report came out that she got arrested for shoplifting. They
Yep.
fired her, and then they had to rehire her like a couple weeks later once it came out that there was no charges. So
Yeah.
better late than never for Enzo, but I still feel like
I guess it's one of those things, right? Like you have to be, if you're just not that guy or that girl, like
Yeah.
you're just real damage. It's like you better be on your best behavior if you ain't the top dog. In other words,
I want to see an interaction between Enzo and Danhausen. I just think
Oh,
like
it's
it's
definitely
just
gonna
there's
happen.
going
You
to be
know it
so
is.
much gold. It's going to be great. I'm very excited to see them back. I'm very happy to see Baron Corbin.
well, here's what I'm waiting for, dude. It's going to be the Vision in the ring with their tag team belts. And all of a sudden, you're just going to hear, what do we got here? A cup of haters? And it's just,
It's
And
gonna be
Danhausen's
great.
like, what's a hater?
Yes, what are haters? Tell me what a hater is.
I curse haters.
That'll be great.
It's gonna be awesome. We had a great match between Finn Balor, Tama Tonga. I mean, those guys know each other so well, so you have to imagine it's gonna be great. And then what I found very interesting is you had Jimmy Uso and Royce Keys.
yeah.
And they're doing this whole thing that Royce has this history with Jacob, and loyalty goes thicker than family, and like this whole thing. And so, but obviously Royce is getting involved in business that he doesn't want to. So now he's running into an issue with Jimmy. Now they're going back and forth, and now Jacob is unleashed, and it's becoming a whole thing. So obviously, this will blend into Raw, but now it looks like they are officially setting up, and you're going to have LA Knight and teaming with Solo, and then who's the other one? Why am I blanking all of a sudden?
Well, LA Knight, Solo, and Royce Keys, right? I guess.
Right,
No.
and Royce Keys versus the Bloodline, Jimmy J and Jacob.
Even though technically not the bloodline, I have a feeling we are getting another inning, I guess, as they like to say in the bloodline story, come SummerSlam. Because whether it's Zilla or somebody else making something's going to happen during this 3-on-3 match that's going to set up the next step of the bloodline story.
There have been a slew of rumors going on that Zilla has signed, and that he's been seen at the Performance Center. So who knows? I haven't seen much of Zilla lately on social media. So that usually says you're keeping quiet for a reason. What was that?
What better time than now, right? We were just talking about slew of people coming in. It's like they're doing like a refresh, right? They're getting rid of people, bringing new talent in. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, but like for the past I would say 5 years, we've been getting introduced to new Samoan to WWE. So I think we're due right now. We haven't had a Samoan in a while. Usually they show up at Backlash, and they didn't this year. So we just got to see.
Can we talk about how great Solo was on Raw last night?
Was that a babyface Solo that I saw?
That's what it felt like, which is weird because the Bloodline is not healed to me. But they're playing it as Solo's turning face. I thought it was great the way Solo teased the fact that he was going back to the family. I think the big fuck you would be if he actually does turn and go back to the family at SummerSlam.
I was just thinking
no way I believe them. There's no way. Even when he put his finger up, I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait for it. There's no way I believe he was going to the Bloodline.
I didn't think he was going in the moment, but part of me thinks we're in for a Vince Russo swerve, bro, and he just turns on his tag team partners anyway. I hope that's not it, and I hope there's more interesting beats to the story, but I think
then
all
where
roads...
Zilla fits.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe Zilla comes in, but I think all roads lead up with Solo back in the Bloodline eventually. Maybe not at SummerSlam, but eventually.
It's just a weird dynamic to me that they're portraying Solo now as face with LA Knight and Royce Keys, but the Bloodline to me is not heel.
Well, it's today's version of wrestling, right? It's you don't have to be a face or a heel. It's just
right.
It's just it's give me a good storyline and we fans will follow. That's the way I look at it. So I think this is a way of, in a way, I think it's one of the best creative writing I've seen in a while from WWE, because they're pretty much challenging us, the fans, to pick a side. Right. And we're not picking a side. And we're just cheering to whatever looks good for us, Like we cheer the Bloodline.
This is why I said Vince Russo. It's shades of gray, bro.
It's got Vince Russo all over it.
I mean, look, Vince Russo was a man ahead of his time, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, Big Venom had his moments. I'll say that.
He did. Listen, he did. Low batting average, but when he hit it, it went far.
That's a true story. You know what I love? I don't love when they write Alexa Bliss off of TV because I love Alexa Bliss, but I love when they write her off because she can dislocate her arm and make it look brutal. And it was a great looking spot. I don't understand why they're taking her off TV unless she requested time off or whatever, but I haven't really heard much. But she had a match with Jade Cargill, and then after the match, they made it seem like they broke her arm. So she's going to be off TV for a while.
Is she doing something? Is she scheduled like for TV, or is she doing something we don't know about?
I haven't heard anything. I don't know.
But this is right before SummerSlam, and you've already got Rhea Ripley, who said she's got some kind of MCL injury or something.
How is she not relinquishing?
That's the question everybody's asking. How has she not have to,
What happened to the good old days? There was a rule.
Well,
30 days. If you could not defend the title within 30 days, then you had to relinquish the title.
Yeah, that was always the way. And Jack Tunney would enforce it, or somebody would, and
Good old Jack
whatever
Tunney.
commissioner or general manager. Yeah, it's been 30 days. You haven't defended it. You're out. And that wasn't just a WWF thing. That was a WCW thing. It was a pretty standard.
It was a wrestling thing.
Yeah, it was a wrestling rule kind of across all companies.
That was kind of like as much as a 10 count.
Yeah, and listen, 30 days is pretty damn reasonable because you could get injured, you could twist an ankle or do something, and you could recover in 3 or 4 weeks and get out there and defend your title. But I think the rationale is anything that keeps you on the shelf for over 30 days is probably serious and might need surgery or might need physical therapy or might just need more than 30 days of rest. So it makes sense why they had that rule, especially with the way they used to tour 300 days a year. If you had a guy that wasn't there for a month, you're missing 30 shows.
So basically. I wonder if maybe they have her come out at MSG at Saturday night's main event, announce the unfortunate news, and that she has to relinquish the title, and that gives them a few weeks to put a match together, and winner wins the title, whether you do a battle royal or do something.
But isn't Liv supposed to be on this show or no? Yeah, she's supposed to be defending her championship against Io.
Yeah, at SummerSlam.
But if didn't you say they wrote her off TV with the arm thing?
That's Alexa Bliss.
No, that's
Alexa Bliss. I got my blondes mixed up. I'm sorry. When I just put a picture, they all look alike.
And if you're
right
gonna get two blondes mixed up, let them be those two because they actually kind of resemble each other.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I was like, oh, the arm thing, and then I don't know why I pictured the arm thing happening to Liv when it actually was. Alexa's got that double jointed thing.
I was walking by my wife's loud music and I couldn't hear when you were speaking about a riff. I'm assuming it's Rhea Ripley because she's off TV, right?
Yeah.
What is the deal with her? Like, is there a legitimate injury? I'm assuming.
I heard it was an MCL, which is one of the ligaments on the side of your knee. Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, that doesn't.
So what we were saying is we wonder if maybe she'll come out and on Saturday night's main event at the Garden and relinquish the title so they have enough time to set up something for that title at SummerSlam. You got 2 nights, you got to fill them.
Right. I think they definitely do that, and I preferably would love to see if Bianca Belair is back, they do a women's Royal Rumble and she actually ends up winning. I wouldn't be mad at that.
She's pregnant. When's the baby due? Or did she already have it?
She already she already had it. She ain't gonna be ready by SummerSlam. That makes no sense. I forgot.
Yeah, she ain't gonna be ready.
All right. Plan B. We gotta think about Plan B.
But she's another one that if she's gonna be ready by September, let's say, whatever happens at the end of the women's match, champion is celebrating, hit the EST music, Bianca comes out on stage, points to her, she's the next challenger as long as she's ready to go.
And listen, there's another name that we haven't talked about that, I'm sure can't be too far out from being able to return, and that's Naomi.
Oh, maybe Naomi's the one. So let's replace Naomi with Bianca in that scenario I said, Women's Battle Royal. And keep in mind, Jay already gave the clue.
I was just thinking that.
He came out dressed with the caution.
He did.
So that could be
They need it when Naomi comes back. She needs to be in the bloodline, without question.
I don't think she needs to, but it'll be cool.
We
Because I
need a
think she's gonna have
female in the bloodline.
a natural pop, and people are gonna love her. I hope they just keep her as a heel and let her go on that wave. She came back like with a vengeance, like I never lost my title, and you guys never had my back. Don't think I forgot, kind of thing. And regardless if she's in the bloodline or not, don't get me wrong, it'll be fucking awesome if she is. But if she's not, I'm still riding with her. I still think she's awesome.
Oh, I would still ride with her, but
Yeah, I hate that the injuries, like especially Rhea's, is like stopping progression of this women's championship, story and the championship reign. If she's that injured, I understand she's over. Just she's got to give, it's just unless she's going to be back in like a week or two, you know what I mean? Then she really has to give this fucking title up. It's crazy.
And at that point, really, like we always talk about these athletes, well, these wrestlers, right? That some of them don't need titles. Some of them need a title, and they'll
Right.
get lost without them. But we know damn well Ripley's not that person. Ripley's
Yeah, she
not
doesn't
the
need a
girl that
championship.
needs a title, and then when she comes back, won't get one of the biggest pops you've heard. You know what's gonna happen. So just, I mean, one of the biggest events coming out too, SummerSlam. Like you got to make a decision. Like you have to showcase your heavyweight champions at least, you know.
they're gonna
Yeah, I
do
don't know if they
something.
don't know what they're doing sometimes with these freaking middleweight. I mean these lower belts in the women's divisions, but a women's championship has to be showcased.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
there's progression in the women's division. I mean, we had an interesting segment with Bailey and Bird Lady. That
So
was,
I'm glad you brought that up. So I love the look of Lyra Valkyria right now. It reminds me a lot of like when Paul Heyman crashed out after the Bloodline, where like he didn't sleep for days and like he just looked all disheveled and
Mhm.
his eyes were bloodshot. She's pasty white and hair's all over. I like the whole crazy deal.
I love the fact that they made her look crazy with like a $500 sweater, mind you.
Right. True.
They didn't rip up a gym wrestling sweater. No. They gave her a $500 sweater to go out there and look nuts.
But I kind of like what they're doing with her and Bailey. We'll see. I mean, I feel like Lyra's got to go over.
I mean, she has to,
Yeah.
right? I mean, because like what like everything she told Bailey was so true. Like everything, she is the worst horseman. Like she always thinks it's about as other people's fault. She never takes accountability. So these are all things that are true. And she definitely is the one to lose something if she takes an L here. There's no need for her to do it. She's getting the character change. So there goes the investment. No need to have her lose. She has to go over.
Well, so here's the rumor: is
like
Bailey might be letting her contract expire and
Well,
going
Mercedes
over.
did. Do you see what Mercedes posted?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What's
Mercedes
that?
posted an hourglass
Uh-oh.
and hints of like Bailey's contract ending and reuniting in AEW.
Yeah,
She does go
yeah.
to a lot of her shows, or they each go to respectively. They go see each other.
Well, they are. I mean, good friends.
Right.
regardless of what
As
they
far
are.
as we know, they're like shoot very good friends. And
So are they the closest out of the four horsemen? I'm assuming because I don't really see the other two hanging out.
No, they don't.
I mean, they legit were close. There's reports of that from years ago, so I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. So listen, I want to talk about. So I said last week that what I really thought they should have done with this whole Sammy Punk, Cody, Gunther deal is that they should have just made it a fatal four-way at SummerSlam for the title. And I still think we're getting that because now, based on what's transpired, we're getting CM Punk and Cody Rhodes versus Gunther and Sami Zayn at Saturday night's main event, which I can only imagine all four of them are just going to start beating the piss out of each other, and it's going to set up a fatal four-way at SummerSlam, and I think that's what we're going to get.
But who goes over?
That's a great question. As long as it's not Cody, I'm happy.
I mean, I'm gonna go a step further. For me, as long as it ain't Cody or Gunther, I'm happy.
I would imagine Punk holds the title.
Yeah.
You think they're
Is
going
there
for a
any
fatal four?
scenario you envision Sammy getting the title back? No way, right? No fucking way. He might be the
No.
one getting pinned. He's the collateral damage. That's what he's there for.
Yeah, I could see that actually. I mean,
So-
out of all four, I could see Sammy being the one that takes the pin.
So were you saying that you thought there would be a fatal four-way at Saturday night's main event or at SummerSlam for the title?
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam set up.
At SummerSlam. But I feel like this tag team match at Saturday night's main event is going to explode, and it's going to cause them to make a fatal four-way for the title at SummerSlam.
But it's all,
Instead
I mean,
of it just being Punk and CM Punk.
maybe.
No?
I feel like they picked those two guys very specifically because they're supposedly they're two of the top 4 or 5 guys in the whole company. If you take out Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns.
Oh, what the fuck am I saying? They can't include Gunther because you're going to have Gunther versus Nick Aldis. I keep forgetting that they're going to set that up.
So is Nick Aldis going to come out and cost Gunther the match?
Oh,
that'll be a good scenario.
During Saturday night's main event, something might happen where he like restarts the match or something like that. Yeah, very possible.
No, I mean like.
But then we're back to the same situation.
Cost the match.
Oh,
but then
physically.
Then we're in the same situation. What do you do with Sammy now?
What do you mean? Sammy's gonna do what Sammy always does. He'll be in the sideline cheering for the rest of us while they're in SummerSlam. What do you mean?
That's pretty much it, unfortunately.
But they gotta have something for Sammy to do.
What? He's gonna host a fucking show?
How are you gonna fucking have him win the title, lose it in 9 days, and then not have him wrestle at the biggest fucking party of the summer?
Because he had his moment in Saudi. His time in the summer was Saudi. His SummerSlam was Saudi.
Al took the words right out of my mouth. They already got the moment they needed from him. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. And that's it. Bye now.
I feel bad for Sammy.
I mean, honestly, Steve, could you really go to a guy and say, listen, we need you to take a 50% pay cut, but hey, we're going to be in SummerSlam? No, that conversation never fucking happens.
It's Sami fucking Zayn, dude.
Right, you saying that did nothing.
We're not talking about Gilbert.
Like, no. You saying it's Sami fucking Zayn, that absolutely not for me. I'd rather see Enzo and Kaz appear in SummerSlam before Sami Zayn. Matter of fact, I'll take it a step further for you. I'd rather see your girl right now, that is the new member of the Vision, taking a time in SummerSlam, having a segment on top of Sami Zayn.
Let me just say, since you brought that up, this is the best Maxine I've seen yet. I love her with the Vision. I like her as a heel. I think it's great. Yeah, she's a mouthpiece for the Vision. And every now and then she'll do a Rochambeau. I'm very happy with it. Hey, baby girl, Addie's listening. How are you?
Hey, Addie.
Hey, Addie. Kevin's back. Sup, guys? Been a minute.
Kevin.
Kevin, what's going on, my brother? Welcome back.
Hey,
and Tara's with us as well.
Isn't that amazing, though, that the best she's ever looked is when she's not wrestling?
It's incredible. Well, shut up. I still don't think she's terrible, but at the same time, I love her with the Vision. And I love the heel turn on Otis. I just loved everything about that segment. I'm very happy to see where this is going to go. And I love what they're doing with Heyman. What do you need me for? You got Maxine. So it looks like Heyman is washing his hands with the Vision.
He's out.
And he's solely focusing on Brock Lesnar. But what's going to happen now after SummerSlam? What do you do with Heyman? Because Brock's not going to be around every week.
CM Punk is turning heel, and we're going back to old shavehead CM Punk and Paul Heyman.
I would be totally down with CM Punk and Heyman back together again.
I want that shit so bad, bro. I want him to run with it, man. It's the only way they're going to protect Cody fucking Rhodes, because they, God forbid, he loses clean. And CM Punk needs to keep the title, so it has to be a way he turns heel or something happens, Paul comes down, or he turns heel, and then on Raw or what belt he has? on Friday. That Friday he'll come to fucking SmackDown and his music hits, and the first person that comes out before he does, or he comes out, and people start booing him, and Paul Heyman comes out like fucking 10 seconds later, and the fucking place drops. That'll be insane. I would love that.
I mean, I love everything about it.
WWE, I'm here for hire. I consider, quitting my job if you guys will pay me correctly.
I come at a high cost.
Mm.
So
Pretty high.
Brock Lesnar kicks off Raw with a bunch of fake policemen and Heyman. Heyman, of course, cuts a great promo. Obafemi comes out, beats up all the cops, and gets you just more and more hyped for Hell in a Cell. I like it. It's simple. They didn't touch. He had a bunch of fake police to fuck up.
Right.
And, I thought it was a great segment. It was a great way to open the show. Place always pops for Brock, so. EO versus Roxanne Perez, I thought was a great match. Yeah.
Before you go on, isn't it a great time in wrestling when we're 30 minutes into the show and we just speak about Brock Lesnar opening against Obafemi? Think about how great wrestling is right now.
That's a true fucking story.
Any other fucking time, we're like, oh my God, this is what happened in the beginning of the show. We're like all over the place. It's fucking great.
Well, so now let's pause for a second. So Kevin says, what if Paul Heyman comes out with Sammy?
I wouldn't be mad at that.
That would be interesting.
Well,
but he will have to get the belt at SummerSlam and give us the biggest swerve ever.
But here's my only thing. Sammy's great on the microphone. So, you don't really need Heyman.
So is CM Punk.
Well, so is CM Punk. That's true.
And so
he
is Roman Reigns.
The voiceless. Well, he wasn't at first, but he is now.
Yeah.
And we'll get more into Roman Reigns, too. So, yeah, I guess that would be interesting. It would definitely... Anytime you put Heyman with somebody, it's interesting to me, because Heyman is just the greatest.
It would also kind of be interesting because you'd have a Jewish man and a Muslim in these troubling political times. And because Vince McMahon's not there, they're not going to do a Zeb Coulter where they're just political about it. It would actually be very interesting if they were because Paul Heyman, he'd find a way to address it and be like, even me, we get along. I'm Jewish, you're Muslim. He'd do he'd find some way to address it once. And
he does it even now. Every now and then when he cuts a promo, he says something about being Jewish a lot of times. So, I think that would be great.
If he starts teaching Sammy Yiddish phrases and Sammy starts teaching him phrases in
Arabic.
Yeah, that would be so funny if
Sammy, that would be hilarious.
That would be so great. And if Sammy's like, you're such a mensch, and then Paul Heyman just looks at him like, what did you just say?
What does that mean?
That would be such a great conversation.
Dude, I'm from New York. What are you talking about? You'll say something like that.
That would be so great. That's an interesting pairing that I didn't think about, but because here's the thing, guys, we're talking about CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. We're assuming that one of them is going to turn heel, but we've seen over the last few years that the number of T-shirts and such that the baby faces sell has become way more important than whether or not somebody turns heel. So I don't know. We might have just a straight up, because WrestleMania, Roman Reigns, CM Punk was pretty much a babyface versus babyface match. So maybe they just do the same thing as SummerSlam, and it's Cody and Punk both babyfaces, which would be boring, I think. But
you're not wrong.
I mean, is it really though? Think about some of the biggest matches we've had in history. A good amount of them are baby faces against baby faces. Shawn Michael, Undertaker, WrestleMania. The Rock, Stone Cold, the final match they had.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. These are big drawing matches.
And
these aren't small matches.
There are and some of those did happen in SummerSlam. Some of them happened in Mania. I could see that. Okay. There's a precedent.
Shawn Michael, Bret Hart, Iron Man match.
That one, people chose sides. People chose sides on that one. You were either a Shawn Michaels fan or a Bret Hart fan. There
But I get
weren't.
it. But I'm just defending the face versus face because at that point, Bret Hart wasn't bitching enough for us to be like, all right, you're fucking a
Well,
new
that's
man.
true.
And we hated
That's
him in the States. That wasn't there yet.
That is true.
You know, so there's a lot of them.
So I got to tell you, a lot of times WWE promotes a gauntlet match, and I don't really love gauntlet matches. A lot of times they just get boring to me. They go too long. There's a lot of commercial breaks, so I'm typically not a fan. But I got to tell you, this gauntlet match on Raw was fantastic. I mean, Javon Evans was incredible. Rusev was great. Chad Gable was awesome. Ethan Page was awesome. Dragon Lee, I could watch Dragon Lee and Javon Evans all day long. And I could say the same for Javon and Rusev. I mean, unbelievable talent. Unbelievable. And I was glad to see Chad Gable win. And Chad Gable Penta might be the price of admission. It could steal the entire show.
Could be match of the night for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
This is his first individual singles title, right? He
If he
never had
wins,
one with Chad, right? Yeah, because he had that whole thing with Gunther for the first time ever. So, yeah, it'll be a cool SummerSlam moment for him. I mean, Penta's had the belt for a decent time. He's done a great job with it. But I think it's time to put it on Gable. He's like you said the other day, right? He's like a top, I will say at least top three babyface right now in the company. 3, 4.
He's
around
massively
there.
over right now. Absolutely. He's just massively over.
And you gotta
Yeah. All right. So that brings us to the contract signing with the OTC and Seth Rollins. I love how Seth Rollins came out and right away signed the contract. Like they got that over right away. And then they started, shooting on each other, which I thought they both did a great job. But to me, Roman wins in that instance. And he got so under Seth's skin that Seth threw the first punch. I can't see, everything in my gut tells me Roman is winning. The fact that they keep talking about the fact that Roman can't beat Seth tells me more and more Roman Reigns is winning at SummerSlam.
Oh yeah. I figured that anyway, but yeah, they have this story already built in that kind of Seth has had his number over the years, and he has, but a lot of the time that was a different Roman Reigns he was wrestling against. Like this is the tribal chief with a couple world title reigns under his belt now. I don't think Seth's going to be able to pull the same kind of shenanigans he used to in the past.
Yeah.
So, question: we're all on the same page. I'm with you. I don't see Roman losing. But what if he does? Because right now they're putting it so blatant out there. We're just there, right? It's like, oh, there's no way. They keep putting it in our face. He can't beat him. He can't beat him. What if he can't beat him? What if somebody costs him that belt? What if Solo comes out and freaking tries to fuck him over?
Sir,
Or somebody else. Like,
Sir,
what?
with all due respect, this is your OTC. This is your tribal chief. This is your head of the table.
Oh,
There is
100.
no world that I could live on or live in that tells me that Roman Reigns cannot defeat Seth freaking fucking Rollins.
Yeah, man, I think he's got to beat. I mean, listen, you're not wrong, Al. It would be more interesting if he lost, because then what do you do? Like, why does he lose? How does he lose? And then how does he respond to losing? But
Right.
To me, the only way Roman loses is if he's leaving for an extended period of time,
which he does.
But he has also been around for the
Yeah.
most part, and it's been wonderful. I love having Roman back. So, Kevin, that contract signing got very personal. It did. It got very personal, but you know what? Those are what make the best promos.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of real shit that was said. So, and it just makes for a better promo. I thought it was very well done. I liked the scuffle at the end. They both got some licks in, but overall, Seth Rollins walked out. Roman did not. So we'll see. The other nice thing is we have a lot of time left before SummerSlam. We still have a few weeks left. So a lot more can happen. It's going to be interesting to see how Roman reacts next week. Or even on SmackDown, because Lord knows, they all seem to be showing up everywhere. So
That's true. I mean, there is. We were talking about. Al even said last week. What's the last time we really had a brand split? Doesn't exist.
Like, this shit's a joke now. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what though. I prefer it this way. I'd rather see the high profile storylines more often than waiting a whole week to see them again.
agreed.
Truth be told, so you have enough time that you could sprinkle in the bad guys and give us the good stuff.
Even that first draft, I hated that idea because then it's like, oh man, you mean to tell me like, so the Dudleys are on different shows and like Rob Van Dam's not gonna be on the same show as like Triple H or whatever? You know what? It was just like, why are we taking these top guys and splitting them up? And then,
well, what's funny? So in the WWE game, the 26 version, right? If you play the Universe mode, which is you play the weekly shows right through the calendar, the draft is built in. So once you reach the draft, you can either control it or let the computer control it, and you see both Aldis and Aldis and Pierce come out to the podiums, and the draft, starts. Let's say SmackDown drafts Roman Reigns. It drafts the entire bloodline, so it actually doesn't split up your team.
Who's the entire bloodline in the game, technically?
Well, in this one, it's whatever you create it to be.
So wait, if I say hypothetically you draft Roman Reigns, then you could be like, fuck it, I want them all. I want Solo. You won't go down the line, you get them all. I even want Sammy. I want Paul Heyman. You can get them all.
If you have them as a faction in the game, in the Universe mode, then it will automatically move them all.
Oh, because you set up your own factions and shit.
Right. I mean, they have them already preloaded, but then, like, the Bloodline really isn't the Bloodline. When this game came out, Roman was on his own. So you have to go in and put them all back together.
Copy.
But then the entrance is built in, so then they automatically come out and do the whole thing.
That's fucking great.
Oh, yeah, the game's awesome. So, overall, it was a great week in wrestling. We have Saturday night's main event this Saturday from the Garden. That should be a good show. Usually not much happens, because it's Saturday night's main event. But right. I feel like a lot actually could happen this week, and it's in the Garden. So
Brunson's going to be there.
Oh, Jalen Brunson's going to be there, you think?
Apparently Roman is acknowledging him at the Garden.
Yep.
Well, that's something.
And then you got to imagine Danhausen's going to be involved. He's going to be there because he's facing JD McDonough.
And he's the reason the Knicks won. Don't forget that.
That's right. Damn
he
right.
He come out with his Danhausen jersey on.
You have Paige and Brie defending the women's tag titles against Fatal Influence, and I'm pretty confident Fatal Influence is going over at the Garden. I think they're finally taking the tag titles off these two.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think Nikki is available, right? She's been working out lately, so no surprise if she shows up and between her and her sister beat the bricks off what's her face?
Paige.
Yeah. We've been waiting for that.
We've been saying it for a while. We need Paige on her own. Like, we need to see Paige back doing her thing. This whole return got really fucked up by putting her in this tag team, in my opinion.
I don't know if at this point being by herself is going to save her, bro. I'm sorry to tell you. Because
no,
I don't know what it is about her. She's a little
I don't agree. You know what it is? Paige was gone for so long, she never even got her return promo. Like, she was just thrusted right into this tag team. They win the belts, and now it's like she needs time to separate and, like, be her own. Maybe a heel turn. something. But I'm telling you, don't sleep on Paige. She'll win you back because Paige is awesome.
Heel turn, probably, because I think she's a better heel than a face. If they try to keep her as this baby face, I don't know. I don't like it.
Although I didn't love her heel run in AEW. Be honest.
Yeah, but she,
Her AEW run overall sucked.
Oh, that's fair too.
overall wasn't great, but there were there were some spots that were pretty good. But she was like, she had just come back from like to working out and wrestling and all that after that neck injury, when she was basically retired for so long, and wasn't quite ready to be wrestling at the pace and style of the AEW women at the top of the card. So, like, I think 2026 Paige in the shape she's in now might do better, and that's why I think. If you asked me 2 years ago, should Paige go on a solo run in WWE, I would have said no, she can't hack it. But I think now she might actually be able to do it. What I want to see is a good singles match with like a credible opponent, and I just want to see what she's able to do one-on-one right now. And then I'll be able to tell if I think she has a run in her.
I don't disagree with that. Kevin says Paige seems out of place. I mean, she kind of does, but I don't think that's any fault of hers. I think it's just they wound up having this slot open because Nikki got hurt, and they just thrusted her into it, and it was a great surprise return.
Right.
Although how much of it was a real surprise because rumors were circulating that entire week.
I think they had something planned for her to return, and they probably even had a storyline for her going from WrestleMania, but then real life necessitated that change.
Yeah, I agree. So Saturday night's main event shaping up to be interesting. Again, you have Bayley, Lyra. I think Lyra goes over. You have Roman acknowledging Brunson. You have the tag match with CM Punk and Cody versus Gunther and Sammy. So we'll see how that turns out. And then you have the women's tag. So you have a couple things that are going to happen, and then that leads us right to SummerSlam. So, which apparently, from what I'm understanding too, is they're having trouble selling out. It's a stadium, 2 nights, and ticket sales are down. So it'll be interesting to see what they do as a last-ditch effort. I haven't looked at ticket prices, but I'm sure that's the same old story as always with TKO. I'm sure they priced people out, and that's probably why they're not selling tickets. But I can't confirm that. Yeah, well, the greed isn't going to change. Also,
Detroit this year?
What was that?
Or Minnesota, Detroit or Minnesota? Where is
Minnesota?
Minnesota. Okay.
Also, some unfortunate news. It sounds like Keith Lee and Mi Chin have filed for divorce. They've been married for 3 years, and they were together for a long time. And then it also sounds like Keith Lee is officially retired from in-ring competition. And I still, to this day, don't really know exactly what happened with Keith Lee. I know it was some sort of injury, but he's never really talked about it, and I haven't seen or heard anything. So, some unfortunate news. Kevin says, I know you guys probably talked about this already, but what do you guys think of Sheamus possibly going to AEW? You know, Kev, we mentioned it last week when word came out that Sheamus was done with the company after a very long tenure. And I think the general consensus is because of his age, we could see him having a run, but not a very long one. But he could have some really hard-hitting bangers with some top people there before he hangs it up. So I think anything's possible. I mean, if I'm Tony Khan, just to get the buzz out there that Sheamus is there, I think I would I'd give him a shot.
I would do Sheamus and Cesaro against Edge and Christian or FTR or whoever, like line up the tag teams, Bro Dito, whoever it is, line up tag teams to go against Sheamus and Cesaro. And then that way, if Sheamus really is, 48 years old with spinal stenosis, he can only wrestle half a match instead of wrestling a whole match by wrestling in a tag team. And I think, just one more little run. He doesn't need to be there for 5 years. Give him a little run.
Yeah. I mean, he could have some real good matches there because it's, he's a hard hitter, and there's a lot of hard hitters over there. So it'll be interesting to see. But anything Sheamus does, I mean, listen. The reality is too, he's been with WWE for so long, he probably doesn't even have to work. And even if he did, he could do indies and make a killing, and go to conventions and all that stuff. So. I mean, Sheamus is in a good spot. What if Sheamus joined the Dogs?
Oh, because Finley's in there. Oh, okay.
True.
Yeah, I could see that. I like this whole thing. The Bang Bang Gang. Jay White is back, so you got the Bang Bang Gang and the Dogs and the whole the trios in the tag team scene in AEW is really coming back together. And Jay White's going to be a singles wrestler again. Like you've got what's his name? Andrade coming up. He's going to be a world title contender. You got the Jet Kevin Knight coming up as a world title contender. Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita has a championship right now. Jay White is going to be in the world title mix. I mean, Hangman just came back on Saturday, and even though he vows that he's never going to challenge for the title, he'll challenge for the title again eventually. And like, it's just nice to see that after a bunch of injuries and time off and this and that, it's like, it seems to be that like AEW is almost back to full power. In terms of having everybody on their roster available. Tony Storm being the one notable example.
When's she scheduled to be returning?
They have, so speaking of undisclosed.
She's got to show up at Wembley, no?
You would hope, but they did say undisclosed medical issue. They didn't say injury. They didn't say illness. People are speculating that because she left TV so quickly that she might be pregnant, but nobody knows for certain because she hasn't said anything. There have been no photos posted. And just a note regarding Keith Lee. So Keith Lee insists that he's healthy and that that the doctors for AEW wouldn't clear him. What that tells me is he is probably healthy to walk around and go to the grocery store. But, like a guy like Bray Wyatt, maybe not healthy enough to wrestle. So I think, and again, this is purely speculation. Everything I've heard about Keith Lee is that he is a big guy, already had some sort of heart issues that were exacerbated by COVID, and the doctors at AEW don't feel comfortable clearing him because, yes, even though he has given a clean bill of health, they don't want him to go out there and have his goddamn heart explode when he tries to do, a power bomb off the top rope or whatever.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And, he's an old, he's not a spring chicken. A lot of these guys, these NXT black and gold guys, even like Adam Cole's creeping up on 40 and he's got to, he might never wrestle again. It's been almost over a year now since he announced at the last All In that he had to take time off to concussions.
A lot of time. And then what about Britt Baker? Like, what's the deal? Is she ever coming back?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Whatever happened to her?
Every so often her name crops up. I mean, honestly, so I feel bad because you've got Rebel who has ALS really badly. Like it progressed really quickly, it seems like, unfortunately. So she was a big part of that act. I liked Britt and Rebel better than I like Britt by herself. But Britt, every so often this comes up. I'll see it online. People are like, oh, what about Britt Baker? What about Britt Baker? And it seems like she's in that position of like, what AEW was 5 years ago, she was good enough to be at the top of the women's division because it was a company that was just building itself. And now that it's been around for so long that it's got its identity and the main event players and all that. And like, it doesn't seem like she fits into like, I don't want to say she's not a good enough wrestler to keep up with Mercedes and all of these girls that they have, but that might be what Tony Khan is thinking, is that she's a good character and a good promo, but she can't keep up the same way with the pace of these main event players.
Right.
But I haven't heard anything official. That's just speculation.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are just getting to the top of the hour. Is there anything else we wanted to mention before we sign off?
I forgot. Back on Monday. Who am I kidding? Fuck over.
There it is.
I knew that was
my
coming.
favorite wrestler's head off. Fuck him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can keep the music playing because this is not a discussion. If you haven't watched them yet, they've had 2 episodes of Dark Side of the Ring featuring TNA, the Dark Side of TNA. The third one comes out tonight. So Dark Side of the Ring opened up their season with a 3-part episode about Dixie Carter, Jeff Jarrett, Kurt and Karen Angle, aka the future Mrs. Jeff Jarrett. There's a lot of spicy stuff in there. There's a couple of Vince Russo appearances, a couple Jim Cornette appearances. So if you haven't watched it, check it out. But with all that being said, guys, this is the War Report After Dark. We do this every Tuesday, 9 p.m. on Eastern Time. We stream on Facebook and YouTube. If you go to Facebook, type in Tag Me a Date in your search bar, you will find our Facebook page. All you have to do is hit the thumbs up or the follow button, and that means that you will be following us, and the live stream will show up on your news feed for Facebook. If you go to youtube.com and you type in Tag Me a Date, you'll find our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. It'll send a notification to you that we're going live. You tap on it and you just go right there to it. If you follow us on social media, it's at Tag Me a Date, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter /X, Instagram, all at Tag Me a Date. If you follow us on TikTok, it is the War Report Podcast. So throw that into the TikTok search and hit the follow button. And if you prefer the audio versus a video version of a podcast, just go to your favorite podcast app, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, and you can type in the War Report, type in Tag Me a Date. You'll see our lovely logo in the top right-hand corner there. You'll see our names in the description. You'll know it's us. Just hit that subscribe button, and Steve or Ryan grabs that audio between Tuesday and Wednesday and uploads it. As long as you're subscribed, you don't have to worry about it. If you're subscribed, it just goes right to your phone or your tablet as soon as the audio gets uploaded, so you can take it with you on the road or to the gym or wherever it is that you are listening to podcasts. And if you really like podcasts, check out my new podcast, Laughable Advice. It is on YouTube. Just search Laughable Advice. You'll see the logo with the laughing face on it. And we got 3 episodes out. Next episode comes out next week. And on your way out here tonight, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. The more comments and likes and shares and all that stuff these videos get, the better it shows up in the algorithm for people. So just throw a like or something on your way out. Thank you to Tara, Kevin, Addie, and everybody else who was, David, everybody else that was in the chat tonight. We'll see you next week, 9 p.m. for another edition of the War Report After a Dark. See you next Tuesday. Have a great one, everybody.
Nice to meet you. So good to see you. Bros wanna act hard, they take it easy. Soft.